Hey, I'm Coach Charles with Fit Health here in Herndon, Virginia. We're working on losing your, or how to lose your Quarantine 15 Quick Start series. And this episode is all about mastering one exercise. Which exercise? Well, there are a number that you could pick from. And if you haven't been working out, as many people haven't over the past year, or 5 years, or 10 years, picking an exercise that you kind of enjoy may indeed be the best thing for you to do. Even though there are best exercises to start with, if you're going to make a change to your behaviors, it's easier to start by doing something that you may enjoy doing. So I got a prop here with my elastic band, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. What are some easy things to get started with? You could simply go for a walk, right? Start by walking 15 minutes, walk 20 minutes, walk 5 minutes. Just make it happen. Master one exercise first. And I hear people saying, I know there's going to be questions about this. Well, shouldn't we be doing a bunch of different exercises? Shouldn't we be doing all kinds of push-ups and maybe sit-ups and bicep curls and leg extensions and all of these kinds of things? And you certainly could. But when we're going from not doing anything or doing very little, and then we're going to try and make a change to our habits, it really works well to focus on mastering one thing first. So let's just pick one exercise. I'll show you a couple of different things you could do with the band here, and then we can pick one exercise. All right, one of the simplest, easiest things in the world to do with a band is to simply pull it apart. So you're holding it between your hands and you're pulling it apart, right? Now, this exercise is absolutely awesome for anyone who does a lot of sitting, especially if you're sitting at a computer or if you're using a cell phone. So you're kind of pulled over like this and your shoulders are rounded forward. It's not making your neck feel good. It's not making your upper back feel good. It's not making your lower back feel good. It's terrible. People spend 8, 10, 12, 15 hours a day sitting in front of a computer and or on their cell phone. This stays in place for months, if not years. And suddenly you've got massive neck pain, massive middle back pain, incredible lower back pain, something in the hip. Just causes all kinds of problems. So that one exercise is really easy to do, it's really easy to master, and you could do it every day. All right, now another simple exercise that you could do with the band is you can put your hands through here, wrap it around behind your back. See, just like that. And now it can be a chest band press. Right? Really simple, really easy. If you don't have any bands, I have some here at the gym. If you live local, I can sell you this exact band. They're not very expensive. You can order similar ones online. You can get the tube kind. I like this one that's squared off because this is layers of rubber that are on top of each other. And if one layer starts to deteriorate, you can see it. And you've got a number of layers, and so it's not just going to snap on you. But the tube style ones, when they dry rot, they can just catastrophically fail on you, and you may never notice that there's a problem, especially if it's starting to fall apart on the inside of the tube. You just don't have any access to seeing that. So for years we've been using these squared off ones, and they work great. Had over 500 people using these over the past 11 years. Truly think they're the best style band to use. This one here is rated for about 30 pounds of resistance. They have ones that are 10 or 15 pounds of resistance. They have ones that go all the way up to over 100 pounds of resistance. So you can find a band that meets your needs. You could also do something like push-ups or squats. Okay. Now, if I was picking one exercise, I would probably say go with the squat, because that exercise is something we've all lost range of motion with. Why? Because most of us sit, and we sit the majority of the day. You may have even seen articles or news reports out there that sitting is becoming worse for your body than smoking cigarettes. And that may indeed be true. because you're losing your ability to move, which means you don't move as often, and when you don't move as often, you're putting on more weight and you're developing all kinds of internal problems that will eventually hit you with high blood pressure, hardening of your arteries, what else? Blood sugar problems, and the list just goes on and on and on and on. So you want to keep your mobility so that you stay more active, and the more active you are, the better shape you're in, the healthier you are, and it just gets better and better and better. All right, now maybe your knees hurt, maybe your hip hurts, maybe your ankle hurts, maybe your doctor's even told you can't squat. But I'll tell you what, every time you're sitting down into a chair, you're squatting. Every time you sit onto the toilet and get back off the toilet, you're doing squatting movements. So even if you've been told you can't squat or you shouldn't squat or squatting's bad for your knees, learning how to squat properly is going to allow you to get in and out of chairs more easily, in and out of your car more easily. It's going to allow you to get on and off the commode more easily. Even if you've got major damage to your knees, you should still learn how to squat properly. So if I was going to recommend one exercise, I would say learn to squat, master the squat. Initially, you're just using your body weight, and you might even be hanging on to something while you're doing the squat. And eventually, the squats get better and better and better. Your knees get stronger and stronger and stronger. Your ankles get stronger. Your hips get stronger. And now you're increasing your mobility, and life is simply better. You're going to enjoy walking longer distances. You're going to go on vacation somewhere. If there's a big hill, it's not as big a deal because you can squat, right? If you're stuck on a plane for 8 hours, it's not as big a deal because you can squat. Everything in life is easier if you can squat. So if I was only going to master one exercise, I would choose the squat. But if you're trying to make it simpler, a band may just well be what you need, and mastering something like the pull-aparts could be just as good for you to get started with, because the exercise you do is far better than the perfect exercise that you don't do. Okay, so we are making this series to get people back on track and getting rid of their 10, 15, or 20 pounds of quarantine weight that they've put on. And we've talked about making decisions that follow into behaviors, and behaviors become habits. And what we want to change is our habits. So you're making the decision you want to lose the weight, you're making the decision that you want to get healthier. So now I'm asking you to make a decision about which exercise you want to do. Just pick one. Even if it's the worst one to pick, just pick one. Doesn't really matter at this point. We are establishing a new habit of working out. And we're starting our workout with one exercise. Okay. If you have questions or comments, please leave them down below and I'll be sure to get back to you. We'll see you in the next episode.